Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Good morning. Bright and early. It's actually not bright. It's dark out here. And it is 8:02 a.m., Monday, December 9th. And a lot of you probably went to bed before the news broke about Juan Soto. And if you're just joining us and you missed last night's live stream, well, obviously, tough morning to be a Yankees fan. Just a heads up, we still have Juan Soto as part of the B-roll that's rotating on your screen, but it's on my agenda for the day to remove all traces of him from the podcast. So stay tuned. It's like when they pulled LeBron's billboard down in Cleveland after he signed with the Heat. But honestly, I think the Yankees will be fine. You can't replace Juan Soto with one player because there's not one player out there that's available that is as talented a hitter as Juan Soto. But if the Yankees are smart, they can improve the roster in a number of different ways. And we'll talk all about that. And we got a gazillion voicemails from you guys. A lot of people watching last night were kind of ticked off. I see a lot of people kind of ticked off in the chat, and it is what it is, you know? So goodbye to Juan Soto. Hopefully this pisses off Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman to the point where they will be aggressive in improving this roster. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. I think it's interesting how much the Yankees offered. And I'm not blaming Hal. I saw a lot of people saying, oh, Hal is trash. Hal is this and that. Hal offered Juan Soto $400 million more than Aaron Judge's total contract. More than doubled Judge's contract. And if you think Soto is a better player than Judge, I got a bridge to sell you. He's younger, allegedly. He's left-handed. But if you think he deserves $400 million more than Judge, I mean, absolutely not. There's really three great things about Soto that we are going to miss. He's extremely clutch. He had a number of clutch hits this year. You know, I think about the games in San Francisco, obviously the big home run in the ALCS. He is left-handed, and in a stadium that is built for left-handed hitters, it hurts to lose a left-handed bat that's that talented. And he walks in front of Judge a lot, right? And that's a big reason why Judge drove in 140 runs. But I told you guys last night, and I'll say it again, and I know some of the Mets fans that are desperately wanting to rub it in don't believe me. I'm not heartbroken about this at all. At all. $765 million is too much for one baseball player. It's too much. It really is. The Yankees would be better served allocating those funds across the roster in different ways. Improve the pitching staff. Improve the bullpen. You still got to build a bullpen. Think about this. If you had signed Juan Soto for $51 million a year, how much funds would the Yankees have had left over to build a new bullpen? Right? We still need an infielder. We still need a first baseman. And I'm confident the Yankees can make up for the 41 home runs that Soto would have hit. You know, they can get somebody like Santander. I'm sure they'll get more production out of Dominguez and Wells power-wise than they had last year. You know, Verdugo didn't hit for much power. Dominguez is going to do better than that. Wells really turned it on after, about a month. Had a hot summer. I think he'll hit maybe 10 more home runs next year. But it's going to be tough to find someone who is as clutch as Juan Soto is, or who gets on base in front of our 58 home run guy nearly as much. Nathaniel Cranshaw says, I hope we get Pete Alonso. I don't. I want to pass on Pete Alonso. I don't think he's a good fit for the Yankees. I don't think he's what the Yankees need. The Yankees need more athleticism, more baseball players, not just power guys. I do think there is one benefit to this. Judge can move back to right field now, where he is, one, a much better defender, and two, it will extend his playing career. I mean, his longevity, his effectiveness will not wear down as much in right field. Now, say what you want about him running into walls and stuff. Just tell him to be more careful out there. But in center field, I was talking to Cameron Maben probably a month or so ago, and he was saying Judge doesn't belong in center field. All of the wear and tear, covering, backing up and things like that. I agree with that totally. I don't think he's built to play center field into his mid and late 30s, which is what would have possibly happened if you brought back Juan Soto. So this allows the Yankees to improve defensively at two positions in the outfield. Judge is a big improvement in right field over Soto. And now you can get a center fielder. And I think it's going to be Cody Bellinger, who's an elite center fielder. He's a left-handed hitter. And the Cubs are going to be willing to move some of his contract. I love my wife. 007 says, in your honest opinion, who do they get right now to ease this feeling? Listen, you just got to sit with these feelings for a while. I mean, it hurts to lose a great player, but at the end of the day, it's sports, right? It's a baseball game. This isn't the end of the world. They'll find somebody else. The Yankees are going to be in it every year, and they have the resources to improve this team, and now they have the motivation to improve this team. But let's be clear about one thing. This is a new era in New York in terms of ownership. Steve Cohen is the new Steinbrenner. He's going to outspend everybody. And if you think that he would have stopped, if the Yankees had offered $770 million, right? You think Cohen wouldn't have said, all right, 775, 780, 790, 800. He would have kept going. We got a comment here that says, Yankees are done. Judge is not that guy. You sound a lot like the people in April who were saying, let's trade Judge. Dude hit 58 home runs, drove in 144 runs. He hit 40 points higher than Juan Soto. He's a better player. He's a better hitter. He's a better defender. And he's cheaper. It's looking like a bargain now. Imagine if Judge had been a free agent this year. How much would he get? I know that he didn't show up in the postseason. I know that. And that's going to live with him his entire career until he does it. But if you're just looking at regular season numbers getting to the playoffs, Judge is vastly superior to Juan Soto. He was worth like 3 or 4 more wins. And he's worth like 3 or 4 more wins every year. And honestly, I think Soto had a career year because he was hitting in front of Aaron Judge and getting a lot more pitches to hit and hitting in Yankee Stadium. Would not shock me in the least if he goes to Citi Field, where he does have pretty good numbers. I'll tell you that. But if his walk numbers go up, his power numbers go down, I bet he becomes another 280 hitter, 30, 35 home runs, 420 on base percentage, and average defense. That's what we're looking at from Juan Soto. He'll be able to DH more there, for sure. But the Mets are serious, and Cohen is not screwing around. We'll see how it shakes out. So what's next for the Yankees? We got a lot of voicemails to get to in just a second. But I believe that the Yankees should pivot and be aggressive right now. Before Soto even has his press conference, I want the Yankees in an agreement with Max Fried. Improve the rotation. Get a dynamic left-handed pitcher. Go ahead and get Tanner Scott for the bullpen. Okay? Get that closer you need. Because the Mets already took Clay Holmes, who, by the way, is going to erase the 7 wins above replacement that Juan Soto is bringing to them. Because he's going to blow 7-8 games. You know that. So, every silver lining has a touch of gray. And then I think the Yankees should be aggressive for Bellinger. And I think they should be aggressive on the infield market. I don't believe that Bregman will be a Yankee. I know a lot of fans have said, well, let's bring him in. And there's others who have said, well, you don't know part of him because of the whole Astros thing. And I think ultimately Cashman feels the same way as those folks. So I don't see that the Yankees would make a big offer to Bregman. But they might be able to make some other deals. And we got a full year of Jazz Chisholm now. Hell, I could even see the Yankees pivoting and bringing back Gleyber Torres on like a 1-year prove-it deal if there's no better options out there, and sticking him back at second base. At least the offense should improve if you'll put him back in the leadoff spot. So, we'll see what happens. I think Nico Horner is a possibility. I mean, he's obviously not a stud like Soto or something like that, but he's a good baseball player. And that's what this team needs. More fundamental baseball. What beat us? It wasn't the lack of home run power. We got plenty of guys who can hit home runs. It was the lack of fundamentals. It was errors. It was bad base running. It was all that nonsense. So if the Yankees can spend appropriately and smartly, they can definitely improve this team enough to at least win the division. And don't forget, Orioles are going to lose Anthony Santander and Corbin Burns. They're losing a 40 home run guy and a Cy Young candidate. The AL East is weaker. I do believe the Red Sox will take some strides this winter, but it's going to take more than one winter for them to get back into the position where they can win the East. So the East is there for the Yankees taking again, right? And you know, the American League is winnable. They might match up with the Tigers or the Royals again or the Guardians. They can beat those teams. Astros still going to be tough, even though they went out in the first round. They seem to have the Yankees number, but they're aging. Josh Hader had a bad year. So, there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic if you're a Yankees fan, and I'm going to try and look at this with a half full glass perspective. Got a quick ad from HelloFresh that I got to run, and then we've got 10 or 15 voicemails that we'll get to. So real quick ad, then I'll be back in about 40.
Holiday shopping gets hectic. Why don't you let America's #1 meal kit help you out? HelloFresh has over 50 recipes to choose from each week. They pre-portion the ingredients and then ship them right to your doorstep.
If you're looking to fit a specific lifestyle, HelloFresh features preferences like fit and wholesome, quick and easy, or a vegetarian option for you too.
HelloFresh helps you eat healthier and stress less about how you're getting the ingredients and ideas for that perfect home-cooked meal.
In many parts of the country, it's cold out, so skip the hassle and snuggle up next to your phone or your computer and pick out your favorite recipes. Then let HelloFresh handle the planning, the shopping, and most of the prep. It's easier than ever to get dinner on the table, quick and painless. We've made many of these recipes ourselves, and they are delicious. Trust me.
Get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/freeFT. Applied across 7 boxes. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/freeFT.
All right, let's get to your voicemails. I honestly have not listened to these. We had so many that I just went ahead and pulled them in. I didn't have time to listen to them all. So I might not play all of them if somebody starts swearing or if the connection is bad or if I saw a few of these go on for 3-4 minutes. So I'm just going to try and get the essence of these. And if someone can't land the plane, I'll move on to the next.
Derek, this is Teddy Moe from the Upper East Side. I was over this trade after 10 minutes.
And there's one of the shorter voicemails we got. He was over the trade after 10 minutes. I mean, look, let's not have sour grapes here. Let's admit that Soto had a great year. He was a top 3 MVP finalist. He put us in the World Series with one of the greatest at-bats I've ever seen. Big home run. He was insanely clutch. He led the team in our Belt Award, which is the award we give out to the player of the game. And by the way, he's also the 2025 leader in our new Bum Award.
Damn bum, you know that. Bum.
My bum is on the Yankees.
Just in case you missed it, Bum of the Day is Juan Soto. Look, I don't want to have sour grapes and say, oh, yeah, he stunk. Yeah. Let's be honest. He was really good. But he was really good offensively. He's not a great defender, not a great base runner.
Damn bum, you know that. Bum.
My bum is on the Yankees.
Irving Figueroa says Kyle Tucker needs to be a Yankee after this year. I think that the Astros will try and re-sign him, even though his swing is perfect for Yankee Stadium. I mean, he's an unbelievable hitter. There are very few hitters that I think are built perfectly for Yankee Stadium. He's one of them. What the Yankees should do really is invest in, developing players like, Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez, guys who are playing for the opposition, that are built for Yankee Stadium. Do a better job in the international market. I'm really excited to see what Jason Dominguez will do next year as the Yankees' likely opening day center fielder or left fielder. switch hitter, young. He had a great year in the minors, didn't play great after he got called up. I think he had a little bit of the yips because he messed up some balls early on. I have a couple of friends who are involved in the Yankees development aspect, and they're telling me that this kid's putting in an enormous amount of work this winter in the outfield. So I'm optimistic about it.
Hey, Derek, this is Wheat from Delaware. I think I speak for a lot of fans that are not disappointed that Juan Soto went to the Mets. I think when we all saw it, we were just like, oh, he left us. But then when we saw the price tag, it's like, oh, good, he left us. We have too many other holes that need to be fixed. Let's go get Burns. Let's go get a first baseman, a third baseman. Let's do something. I'm excited to see what Cashman and the brain trust in New York actually does to fix this roster. Because let's face it, they had other holes that needed to be fixed. They got the money to do it. Let's go do something. All right, man. Keep up the good work.
Truer words have never been spoken.
You're a smart motherfucker. That's right.
100%. Got to spread it around. We have got to go out and fill the holes that we have. This is not one of those times where Cashman needs to basically try and wait out the market. He does that a lot, where he tries to wait out the market and he settles on some guys who are really not a great fit. Go out and get the best guys you can right now. You got the money to spend. You just showed you're willing to invest over $700 million into this team. Look, there's not a lot of times that a pitcher like Corbin Burns or Max Fried becomes available. And supposedly Max Fried has had multiple meetings with the Yankees, and it seems to be a good fit. And I've heard him compared, I mentioned this before, to Jimmy Key. If you guys remember the 90s, how important Jimmy Key was to this organization. Lefties at Yankee Stadium, if you're a good pitcher and not a home run guy, and he keeps the ball on the ground, you can be very, very effective, you know? So, I mean, let's just say that, let's just look at this from a WAR perspective. And when I say WAR perspective, I mean wins above replacement. Soto had a 7.9 WAR, right? The league average WAR is about 2.0. So really all you need to do is get a few players who can make up that difference. 5.9 WAR. I think Fried gives you 3. I think Bellinger gives you 2 or 3. And I think already Dominguez and Wells are going to give you, 2 or 3 more. So right there, the Yankees should be fine. And I wouldn't mind it if they went out and got Tanner Scott. That'll save the Yankees 7 blown saves or 8 blown saves next year. I'm sure he'll blow a few, but he's not going to blow as many as Clay Holmes blew. This voicemail's 4 minutes long, so I'm going to play a fraction of it.
Hey, Derek. This is WLBWF calling from Florida. Love watching your show. In reference to the Juan Soto signing, you actually played a clip of mine where I was I was pretending to be him, where he was saying, "Oh, don't listen to Judge, I'm the new guy." Well, yeah, that was me. But it actually ended up playing the way I think the Yankees needed it to play out, because this was going to be a terrible contract. That was probably would have been the worst contract, like you said yourself. Was going to end up being just him being a DH in the future. And
yeah, I'm going to stop you right there. I agree. I don't think the contract is going to age well. I don't think Juan Soto is going to age well. This guy who's played every day. Look, it's biology, bro, to quote Zero Dark 30. Once he gets into his mid-30s and you got 7 years left on that contract and $250 million, and he's starting to wear down and his legs are starting to wear down, maybe he's losing a little bit of bat speed, maybe his eyes aren't quite as good, maybe he's not actually 26. Does he look 26 to you? So there's a lot of reasons that I'm glad the Yankees didn't pay $765. That's just too much for a baseball player. I'm sorry.
Hey, Derek, this is Harrison. I have a law school final exam tomorrow morning, so I'm going to keep this brief.
Good luck.
And I probably won't be able to sleep very much anyway. But I can't help but be reminded of when the New York Nets signed Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and then traded for James Harden a few years ago. And all the Nets fans were saying that they're the new kings of New York, and the Knicks aren't shit. The Nets are on top. And then look how that turned out for them. All I'm saying is, once a little brother, always a little brother.
Yeah.
Juan, I hope you enjoy your Cancun beach house, or, hanging out in Flushing, whatever you're going to do in October when you're not playing baseball. Thanks.
It's going to be very tough for Juan Soto at about half the places he goes in New York City. He's going to run into some Yankees fans at restaurants. He's going to find himself waiting at tables for meals, and the cook is a diehard Yankees fan, and maybe he finds a little bit of Fremunda cheese in his Caesar salad.
This is Raekwon calling. It's time for Cashman and Hal to go to Plan B. After seeing Soto sign with the Mets for a record-breaking deal, I say make that trade for Bellinger and put Bellinger at center field and move Judge back to right. I say try to go out there, sign a Corbin Burns or Max Fried, and also spend money smartly and spread the money smartly and fast. Find pieces you think that will help fit the team and help us win.
That seems to be the consensus. Spread it around. I really hope that the Yankees don't decide to just pocket the money they were going to spend. I really think they have to be aggressive. One thing's interesting. If they do sign a big starting pitcher like Max Fried, they still got a bunch of pitchers in the stable, right? They've got Cole, they've got Rodon, they've got Clark Schmidt, they've got Nestor Cortez, they've got Marcus Stroman. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. So they're going to have to move and make some room to add a starting pitcher. So it wouldn't shock me if they dealt somebody like a Stroman or a Nestor Cortez. And also, they don't have a lot of depth in the starting pitching arena. They've traded a lot of their starting pitching depth over the last few years. The Frankie Montas deal, the Juan Soto deal. So, they need to replenish the farm a little bit. They did draft a couple of college pitchers that I think could move quickly through the organization. They got Henry Lillane, who is young, hasn't pitched very deep into the minor leagues yet, hasn't thrown a lot of innings, but he's a guy who could move quickly, and he's got, unbelievable stuff, Chris Sale level stuff too, just like Garrett Crochet, who's another guy that they're interested in. So see how it shakes out.
Hi, Derek. It's Kendall from New Jersey, and my feeling on the Juan Soto situation is exactly as it's been all year. This guy is a diva that is looking for nothing more than the highest payday, highest AAV. This is why he's been traded from Washington to San Diego, from San Diego to the New York Yankees. And the Mets, as usual, are a sucker in terms of overpaying for a guy because the analytics say go ahead and do it. Let the Mets deal with this headache that's going to rear itself in the next couple of years if they don't win. With Soto, with Boris, the Yankees should look at this as a blessing in disguise. And GM Cashman, you're on the clock. You're willing to give up $700 million for this gentleman. Go on out here and stop trying to build a team that is top-heavy with big names on multi-year contracts and a bunch of scrubs and underachievers, reclamation projects underneath this.
Yes. Inject that into my veins. Yeah, this is a wake-up call to Brian Cashman to stop dumpster diving. They just showed us their hand. They just showed us how much money they have to spend. Go out and spend it. Get some real players in here. That's a great call. That is a great call. 100%. We got Brian here.
What's up, Derek? It's Brian. Yep. Well, it happened. Soto's gone. It is what it is. Can't really even be that upset about it. Honestly, I just felt like with that many years and that much money, at some point you're going to have close to a $50+ million DH, and he's going to be aging. So it's one of those things. Maybe he's great his whole career, and I hope he is because I liked him as a player. But that's one injury away from an absolute disaster. Either way, I think this might be a blessing in disguise. You can't really be upset too much as a Yankees fan. I think they have a lot of potential moving forward. I think there's some nice, tricky little players that would be possibilities out there. I know some guys like Roki Sasaki probably already locked up for the Dodgers, but they have, I think he's a second baseman, possibly a shortstop, but another, I think his name's almost Ha-Sung Kim as well, coming out of the KBO, the Korean League, and he was raking the past couple years, over 300, Gold Gloves 3 seasons in a row. Would defense obviously translated anywhere, 300 average, probably not. That'll probably be more like 270, 280, but that plays, man. That plays.
We'll see. I'm not big on signing hitters out of the South Korea League. The pitching over there isn't as good, right? I can see him struggling. Now, the guy the Padres have, also the same name, basically, ended up being a pretty good player, but it took him a couple of years. So we'll see.
As a Yankees fan, I'm so disappointed. This kid is an amazing, amazing player, and the Yankees failed to sign Juan Soto. And you know what hurts the most as a Yankee fan? He went to the Mets. This is going to hurt the Steinbrenner family for a long time.
I think they'll be okay. I think they will. Hang in there, brother.
What's up, guys? This is Louis Penderfield calling. I got a couple of questions. So now that Soto's gone, he's out of the way, what can we do, or what should be done or would be done to get, let's just say, the best off-season trades and signings for the New York Yankees? For example, what is needed to get Vladimir Guerrero, Cody Bellinger, obviously Corbin Burns we need to sign, and Max Fried we need to sign. But we need to trade Guerrero and for Bellinger. How does all that play out? How do you see?
Absolutely no chance they get both Fried and Burns. They don't have 2 open rotation spots, first of all. And Vladdy Jr. is not getting... I've seen so many people say, go out and get Vladdy Jr. First of all, Vladdy has already said he doesn't want to play with the Yankees. So that won't happen. He's not coming to the Yankees. If the Blue Jays traded him, they wouldn't trade him in the division to their rival. They would trade him elsewhere. I don't see Vladdy Jr. coming to the Yankees. I don't think there's any chance. Now, to answer your question, it's going to take creativity. It's going to take some balls from Brian Cashman. It's going to take Cashman thinking outside of the box. And it's going to take Hal Steinbrenner to ante up and agree to take some other risks.
Got a lot of fucking balls.
We'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. I've said that a few times today. But we just got to wait and see.
How's it going? Yankees fan out here in Oregon, just taking in the news, watching your live stream. I gotta say, Father Steinbrenner would be rolling over in his grave if he knew Brian Cashman was still the general manager of this organization. I honestly am not so surprised Soto left. You know, you look at how this played out. You think if he wanted to be a Yankee, he would have stayed, A, first and foremost, but B, that this deal would have likely been signed weeks ago if he wanted to stay a Yankee. And, you know, give it to Scott Boras. He gets his guys' money most of the time, last year aside. But, you know, seeing your show and seeing the Yankees offered more money overall with one more year, it's just clear that Soto did not want to be a Yankee. And all the fluff of him going to the Red Sox and whatnot, we all knew that was never true. But the fact that he is not a Yankee, Father Steinbrenner is probably rolling in his grave.
Well, I believe that Cohen is basically the new Steinbrenner. So I don't think that Steinbrenner, George Steinbrenner would have even been able to outbid Cohen. Cohen's just so super rich. When he wants somebody, he's going to go get him, right? If it's all about money, and it was only $5 million difference, right? It's $3 or $4 million a year. It's like the Yankees' final offer was like 47.5 per year, and he got 51. He didn't want to be a Yankee. You're 100% right. We got a voicemail that just came in a second ago.
Yo, I low-key think that that Juan Soto was lying about his decision. He said that he wouldn't focus on money, or that wouldn't be his main factor. But what ended up happening was, he picked the Mets off for a $5 million difference. So I think he's a little bit, sorry my language, kind of a little bitchy for that.
Yeah.
He also said he enjoyed being a Yankee, and I just don't see the loyalty that he made that claim with. Aaron Judge and then $415 million offered from the Padres. I know it's not as much as Juan Soto was offered, but it's a hell of a lot of money, man.
Yeah, you have to give Judge credit for at least turning down more.
That'll be the worst thing ever happened to the Yankees. This is literally going to be the...
All right, let's not mumble. I'm going to pass that.
It's a real damn shame. Soto, he brought us to the World Series. Him and Judge could have made something really, really great. But you know what? I don't want him now. We could get 5 players on the New York Yankees and watch Soto. Watch this season. I want you to hear this. Goodbye.
Exactly. The best revenge is immense success. Frank Sinatra said that. We got 2 more calls, and then I'm going to get on with my day. We got a 10 o'clock fair territory with Ken Rosenthal, and I got to get to a meeting for it. So I'm going to play 2 quick voicemails. This first one from Milton, and then we got Booker.
Hi, Derek. This is Milton from Texas. I'm not disappointed. I can't say I don't care because I wanted Soto, but let's face it, that's too much. There's no way. You're going to bankrupt the team. And when I say bankrupt, I don't mean a literal sense. I mean, they're not going to have enough money to get the players they really need to put it together. Did the 90s team, when they won all those World Series, did they have the back-to-back? No, they had a couple of Hall of Famers, Jeter and Mariano. Everybody else were situational hitters. They hit when they had to hit. The Posadas, the Williams, even Jim Levis hit a tremendous home run at one time during that period. I mean, I know I'm going back a while, but they need a player to score from second base when a single is hit, instead of trying to hit that home run and then looking at the home run going with offense.
100%. You got to fill the roster with baseball players. It's still baseball after all.
Hey, good evening, Derek. This is Booker. Just heard through you on your program that the Mets signed him $765 for 15 years. I don't know if I would have signed Soto for that, but I mean, we're between a rock and a hard place. Sign Soto for all the money, and then we get a definite product. Now that he's gone, we have to depend on Cashman, and Cashman does not have a good record of building World Series teams. So that's the way life is.
Yeah. And then Izzy Devo says, he said, a couple of Hall of Famers so flippantly. Yeah, Jeter and Rivera, who between them had one person vote against them for getting into the Hall of Fame. That was a pretty good squad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope your day gets better. I'm going to do a live stream again tonight, and if any news breaks, we'll cover it. I'm going to be doing foul territory stuff until about 5 or 6 p.m., and then after that, we'll cover any news that breaks, and then, of course, 9 o'clock live stream this evening. So stay tuned for all that. Let's hope that the Yankees can, get back on the horse and break out the checkbook.
I can't even believe it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and give us a subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel. We're also on all your favorite podcast platforms and social media. Join the community, have some fun. We're here after every game. This is Pinstripe Territory.